Hello, welcome to the Subboard here at the StarCityGames.com Standard Open in Baltimore. Brought to you by Ultimate Guard. I am Nick Miller alongside Team East West Bulls, Ben Friedman. How you doing?
What's going on, Nick?
Not too much. We've got a Bant Company deck here. You know, talk of the tournament last week. A lot of people know this is going to be on the radar.
For sure.
But you have a deck here that we've seen, you know, back in the last Standard, people put Eldrazi Displacer in their Bant Company deck to take advantage in the late game as things went on with Archangel Avacyn.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying it again this time, but now we have some new shenanigans going along. We have this card called Spell Queller that was printed, and we have some show and tell here we're going to talk about here in a minute on how Eldrazi Displacer and Spell Queller work in the current metagame, and then we're going to go over the rest of the deck right now. So we've seen Bant Company before, all the cards, but you have the build that is kind of not using Bounding Crassus. You don't have Thalia in it. You had to make room for Eldrazi Displacer.
Yeah, you know, both of those are good cards. Don't get me wrong. There are two different game plans that you can pursue with Bant Company. You can be a more tempo-oriented deck, or you can be more prepared to kind of grind out the game as it kind of stalls out. So yeah, on turn 2, turn 3, you go Lambholt Pacifist and hold up your Bounding Crassus. You're looking great. That's awesome. In the mirror match, that can definitely take an opponent and just punish them before they're ready to set up. However, let's assume that, you know, cards get traded, the board kind of stalls out. Eldrazi Displacer in concert with Reflector Mage is just as good as it was in the last format. You basically just get to keep their side of the board from ever really developing a presence. On the topic of new cards, Spell Queller and Eldrazi Displacer work together for you reasonably well. If you have a Spell Queller and a Displacer, you kind of have your opponent in this weird lock if you have enough mana to kind of manage all of their spells. But the real beauty of everything is if you have Eldrazi Displacer and your opponent has Spell Queller, and for some reason a lot of people are casting Spell Queller this weekend. Yes, I don't know, but
it's a popular card.
Yeah, it seems to be. So I thought, all right, I'm going to prepare for this, and I'm going to have my Eldrazi Displacer, and we're going to show you some of the tricks that get to go on when your opponent has a Spell Queller.
Right. You're a professional Magic player, so you know how the rules of this game work very well. I'm just a simple, unfrozen caveman sideboard reporter who needs a little help with how the stack works and how this crazy interaction works. Thankfully, we have some cards here to represent the stack, and we're going to take you through how having an Eldrazi Displacer and an opponent's Spell Queller with one of your spells under it is good for you.
Oh yeah, so listen up, kids. We got some lessons you're gonna learn today. All right, let's say that my opponent has a Spell Queller covering up my Collected Company. I really want to cast my Collected Company. I'm like pretty disappointed that my opponent Nick over here has a Spell Queller quelling my company.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, he should be, but somehow seems, oh, look at that, my Eldrazi Displacer is in play. So we got these guys staring each other down, and my opponent, Nick, man, he's got a Collected Company in his hand, and it is just burning a hole in his pocket. He's got to spend that mana. He's going to try and cast a Collected Company, and he's not really sure exactly what happens with all these newfangled cards and abilities, so he says, all right, tap 4 mana, Collected Company. And I say, whoa, hold the phone, Nick. We're going to have some abilities on the stack here. So, I'm going to use my Displacer to flicker my opponent's Spell Queller. And now the stack gets a little tricky, so try and keep up. We get 2, not 1, but 2 triggers. 1, opponent may recast the spell underneath Spell Queller for free. 2, counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. I say, all right, Nick, choose. How do you want to stack these, and what would you like to target with your counter target spell? Oh no! There's only one spell on the stack. It's Collected Company. It doesn't matter how you stack these triggers because you gotta choose a target and there's only one here. Looks like you're targeting your own Collected Company.
Womp womp.
Shouldn't have cast your spell, buddy. Now, let's say that we got a stack like this. All right, the counter target spell counters my opponent's Collected Company. That's gone. Whoop. And opponent may recast for free. Give me that. Give me that. Woo. All right. Now who's got creatures in play, Nick? This guy.
You do. All right, Ben, thanks for the lesson. If you haven't seen this in action, it is pretty devastating.
Oh God.
The stack is quite complicated. Thankfully, you here are an expert, can let us know how this works. That's the reason to play this build of Bant Company.
Oh, 100%. Sometimes you need some visuals to figure it out, and I guarantee I'm going to get judge calls, I'm going to get appeals, I'm going to get confused opponents, but you know, these are the cards that Wizards printed, and they all happen to be in the same 3 colors, and I don't know for the life of me why they did it, but you know.
Notably, you have already talked to Ricky Hayashi, head judge of the event. We have cleared, this is how this works. So you at home, be ready. This is a more you know learning experience.
Seriously.
Take a look.
Yeah, seriously, be prepared. Try and figure out all the tricks that you can do with Displacer and Queller, because it's not only going to be in the format for this season, it's going to be in the format for the next season also, and I guarantee you it's going to be a popular and potent combination there as well. So,
all right, we'll learn now before it's too late, before you get got. Ben, thanks for joining me on the sideboard.
My pleasure.
Thanks for teaching everyone how this interaction works. Stay tuned to StarCityGames.com all weekend long for the action here in Baltimore.